The oldest myths in the world. What do they have in common? Have you ever wondered what connects the oldest stories ever told? Those ancient myths whispered around fires, carved into stone, or passed down through generations. Could they share common threads despite originating from different corners of the world? Today, we're embarking on an epic journey through time to uncover the secrets woven into the world's oldest myths. Myths aren't just old tales, they're the heartbeat of human culture. They've been our way of explaining the unexplainable, imparting wisdom, and uniting communities. From explaining why the sun rises to defining moral codes, myths have shaped societies and their values. They bridge the gap between the known and the unknown, giving humanity a way to make sense of the world around us. In today's video, we're exploring ancient myths from Mesopotamia to Norse lands, from the sands of Egypt to the rich traditions of indigenous Australia. We'll delve into these fascinating stories and uncover the common themes that bind them. Ready to connect the dots across time and space? Let's get started. Understanding mythology. So, what exactly is a myth? At its core, a myth is a traditional story that embodies the beliefs of a culture. It's more than just a legend or a fairy tale. It's a narrative that holds significant meaning and offers explanations for natural phenomena, humanity's origins, and life's big questions. Legends might have a kernel of historical truth, and folklore often include everyday tales, but myths deal with gods, creation, and the cosmos. Myths serve several key functions. They explain the inexplicable. Before science, myths were how people understood lightning, seasons, or why the sun moves across the sky. They instruct by embedding moral lessons within engaging narratives, teaching right from wrong through the fates of their characters. Myths unify by creating a sense of community and identity, forming the cultural glue that holds societies together. Ancient Mesopotamian myths. Let's kick things off in Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this region birthed some of the earliest known myths, providing a window into the minds of our ancient ancestors. One of the most famous Mesopotamian myths is the Epic of Gilgamesh. This epic poem tells the story of Gilgamesh, the mighty king of Uruk, who is 2/3 god and 1/3 human. Initially a tyrannical ruler, Gilgamesh befriends Enkidu, a wild man created by the gods to challenge him. Through their friendship and adventures, battling monsters like Humbaba and the Bull of Heaven, Gilgamesh transforms. But when Enkidu dies, Gilgamesh is confronted with the reality of mortality. Overwhelmed by grief, he embarks on a quest for eternal life, seeking out Utnapishtim, the survivor of a great flood. Despite his efforts, Gilgamesh learns that immortality is beyond human grasp. The epic ends with Gilgamesh returning to Uruk, accepting his mortality, and finding meaning in the legacy he leaves behind. Mesopotamian mythology also includes creation stories like the Enuma Elish. In this tale, the god Marduk defeats the chaos dragon Tiamat and creates the world from her body. Then there's the Atrahasis epic, which recounts a great flood sent by the gods to curb humanity's noise and overpopulation. Atrahasis, warned by the god Enki, builds a boat and survives with his family and animals. Egyptian mythology. Traveling to ancient Egypt, we're greeted by a rich pantheon of gods and goddesses. Deities like Ra, the sun god, who sails across the sky each day, Osiris, the god of the afterlife and resurrection, and Isis, the goddess of magic and motherhood, play central roles in Egyptian myths. Egyptian creation myths often begin with the primordial waters of Nun. From this chaos emerges Atum, who creates the gods Shu, air, and Tefnut, moisture. Their children Geb, earth, and Nut, sky, give birth to Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. This lineage forms the Ennead of Heliopolis, establishing the world's order. The myth of Osiris is key to understanding Egyptian beliefs about life and death. Osiris is killed by his jealous brother Set, who dismembers his body. Isis painstakingly reassembles Osiris, bringing him back to life long enough to conceive their son, Horus. Osiris becomes the ruler of the underworld, and Horus later avenges his father. This cycle emphasizes themes of rebirth and the eternal nature of life. Ancient Greek myths. Next up is ancient Greece, where myth and legend intertwine. The Greek pantheon starts with the Titans, primordial deities overthrown by their children, the Olympian gods led by Zeus. This succession reflects themes of chaos giving way to order. Prometheus, a Titan, is known for his cunning and his love for humanity. Defying Zeus, he steals fire from Olympus and gives it to humans, symbolizing knowledge and progress. As punishment, Zeus chains him to a rock where an eagle feasts on his liver daily, only for it to regenerate each night. Greek myths are rich with heroes like Hercules, who performed 12 nearly impossible labors as penance, and Perseus, who defeated Medusa. These stories celebrate human virtues like courage, intelligence, and perseverance, while also warning against arrogance and hubris. The Greeks were fascinated by fate and the limitations of human free will. Myths often depict characters attempting to escape their destiny, only to fulfill it unwittingly. Hubris, or excessive pride, frequently leads to a character's downfall, serving as a caution against overstepping human bounds. Hindu mythology. Venturing to ancient India, Hindu mythology is deeply rooted in sacred texts like the Vedas and Upanishads. These writings, dating back over 3,000 years, explore complex philosophies and narratives about the universe and humanity's place within it. One Hindu creation myth involves the cosmic egg, or Brahmanda, which contains the universe's potential. From this egg emerges Brahma, who creates the world and other beings. Another concept is the eternal cycle of creation, preservation, and destruction maintained by the Trimurti: Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. Hindu deities often manifest as avatars to restore balance in the world. Vishnu's avatars, like Rama and Krishna, descend to earth during times of chaos. These stories delve into themes of duty, dharma, righteousness, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Chinese mythology. In Chinese mythology, the universe begins with a formless chaos, an egg containing the opposing forces of yin and yang. From this egg emerges Pangu, a giant who separates yin and yang, creating the earth and the sky. Nuwa, a goddess with a serpent's body, feels lonely in the world and decides to create humans. She molds figures from yellow clay but, growing tired, dips a rope in mud and swings it, the droplets forming common people. This myth explains social hierarchies. The tale of Yu the Great addresses a catastrophic flood threatening China. Yu, appointed to control the floodwaters, works tirelessly for years, channeling rivers and creating irrigation systems. His dedication and success lead to the founding of the first Chinese dynasty. Indigenous Australian myths. In Indigenous Australian cultures, the Dreamtime is a sacred era when ancestral spirits created the world. These stories aren't confined to the past but exist in a continuous present, deeply embedded in the land. Ancestral beings like the rainbow serpent are central figures. The rainbow serpent is considered a creator deity, associated with water and life. Its movements across the land shape the landscape, creating rivers and mountains. For Indigenous Australians, the land is alive with the stories of the ancestors. Every rock, tree, and river holds spiritual significance. Their myths reinforce a profound respect for the environment and emphasize the responsibility to maintain balance and harmony. Norse mythology. Heading north, Norse mythology centers around Yggdrasil, the immense ash tree that connects the 9 worlds. These realms include Asgard, home of the gods, Midgard, home of humans, and Helheim, the underworld. The Norse creation myth involves the void of Ginnungagap, bordered by realms of fire and ice. Their interaction creates Ymir, the primordial giant. After slaying Ymir, the gods fashion the world from his body. Key figures include Odin, the All-Father who sacrifices himself for knowledge, Thor, the thunder god known for his strength and hammer Mjolnir, and Loki, the trickster whose actions lead to both trouble and change. These characters embody themes of wisdom, courage, and fate, common themes in the oldest myths. Across cultures, creation myths attempt to answer fundamental questions about the origins of the world and humanity. Whether through cosmic eggs, divine battles, or the molding of humans from clay, these stories reflect a shared human curiosity about our beginnings. Flood myths appear in many cultures, suggesting a common experience with catastrophic floods or a universal symbolism of cleansing and renewal. Stories like Atrahasis, Noah's Ark, and Manu in Hindu texts depict a great deluge sent by gods. The hero's journey is a universal motif involving a protagonist who embarks on an adventure, faces trials, receives aid, and returns transformed. This pattern is evident in Gilgamesh's quests, Hercules's labors, and countless other myths. Myths often explore the dynamics between humans and gods, cooperation, defiance, punishment, and favor. From Prometheus's rebellion to the avatars of Vishnu guiding humanity, these interactions reflect humanity's quest to understand and connect with higher powers. Analyzing the commonalities, psychologists like Carl Jung suggest that these recurring themes and symbols point to a collective unconscious shared by all humans. Archetypes like the hero, the mother figure, and the trickster emerge across cultures. Anthropologists propose that similar environmental challenges and human experiences lead to the development of analogous myths. Cultural exchanges through trade, migration, and conquest also contribute to the spread and blending of mythological themes. Common symbols like serpents, trees, and floods carry similar meanings across different mythologies. Serpents can represent both creation and destruction, trees symbolize life and connectivity, and floods often signify rebirth. The role of myths in contemporary society. Mythological themes continue to influence modern storytelling. Movies, books, and games often draw upon ancient myths. The hero's journey in Star Wars, the use of Norse mythology in Thor. Myths remain vital to cultural identity, celebrated through festivals, rituals, and traditions. They provide a connection to the past, preserving heritage and fostering a sense of belonging within communities. Ancient myths offer enduring lessons relevant today. They encourage us to reflect on our values, our relationship with the environment, and our place in the world. By studying these stories, we gain insights into human nature. Exploring these myths enriches our understanding of different cultures and ourselves. They remind us of the profound connections we share across continents and millennia. What's your favorite myth or legend? Do you see any connections to the themes we discussed today? Let me know in the comments below.